Up next, we have Rick and Nika from Listen to talk about how VCs can encourage diversity.
Thanks so much, Jackie. You can go to the next slide. First, we just want to start by saying a big thank you to Lindsay and the entire Chicago Blend team for bringing us together and creating a space for us to have conversations like this. If you want to go to the next slide, I'm Nika Longo, and I'm on the platform team at Listen, and I'm joined with Rick Desai, who is a partner and head of investments. Just a quick background on Listen and our relationship with Blend. Listen is a consumer-focused venture capital firm, and we operate a concentrated investment strategy to back visionary entrepreneurs and build the brands of tomorrow. Because we're concentrated, we're able to dig in deeper with our founders and their teams. So in addition to capital, we also help our entrepreneurs make strategic and creative leaps that drive better business and build brands that change perceptions and challenge the status quo. We're super pumped to be here. We've known the folks who started Blend for quite some time now, and we're excited to be a part of the community they're building. Listen wanted to be more than just financial partners, even though that's incredibly important. So we helped them the only way that we knew how, which was digging in to support them and helping create their brand. The whole Listen fam is super thankful for the work that Chicago Blend is doing, and we can't wait for what's to come in 2021. Rick's going to kick us off to share a bit more about our journey.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nika. You can flip to the next page. This summer was really a wake-up call for us. To be honest, we thought we were doing our part in DE&I. The makeup of our team and our investments were increasingly female. We encourage a diversity of perspective. We worked with Blend, and being inclusive is a core value to us. What we've learned is that being inclusive is not enough. And for me specifically, I recognize that while I'm a minority statistically, I'm a minority with a privilege. So, systemic issues that pose challenges for people of color is our problem and cannot be ignored. Diversity is no longer a nice to have, it's a mandate, and it's our responsibility. And we as was said earlier today, we strongly believe it's integral to enterprise value creation. So for us, it's been a commitment to intention. No different than why a founder, all the founders that we support, they often pursue insurmountable challenges or problems, and they do it because they're driven by being unsettled. They're driven by the feelings they have. They're unsettled by the status quo. Likewise, I think we all need to remain just as unsettled, just as uncomfortable as we felt this summer. We can't let this fade. At least, listen, we can't let this fade with the tweet or with the donation. You can flip to the next page. So the first thing we did was to step back and take stock of where we were. A big hat tip to Ilgif and to Blend, and especially Samara, if she's on, who first suggested that we collect our founder level data years ago. We'll start with our own human capital. Our core team is roughly split up between male and female. Our listener program, which is our business school internship program, represents a really great diverse makeup of both perspective and ethnicity that we want to build on. However, the truth is that the makeup of our founders remains disproportionately white male. If you flip to the next page, we'll show you our funnel. We've seen increased activity at the bottom of our funnel here in both Black and female-led companies. Of the 7 companies we've offered terms to over the past 18 months, 6 were led by female founders and 2 by Black founders. And the 3 deals we closed were led by women. However, the top of the funnel requires all of our work, all of our attention, and a lot more intention. We've had only 25 Black-led deals in this period of time, over 800 qualified opportunities. And not until Q3 of the past year did we start collecting data on our Latinx founders. The dearth at the top of this funnel to us is truly a consequence of our relying on our existing networks. Networks that look like us, networks that are easy for us to access, networks that influence who we hire, who we invest in, who we recruit at our portfolio companies. And if venture, I think Aaron alluded to this, if venture capital is about backing extraordinary founders who can pull off the impossible, it's truly incumbent on us to build better networks, to source and evaluate founders against this new lens, so that we can look beyond the typical pedigree. So a lot of learnings and reflections of this past year, and hopefully a lot more to come. But over to you, Nika.
Thanks, Rick. If you can go to the next slide, please. So like Rick just said, we needed to shift from being inclusive to being intentional about that. So to do so, we've adopted a listen more, learn more, do more philosophy, which at its core is about expanding our network. We believe this starts with conversations like this one and others that allow us to form partnerships with our Black and Brown VC peers in sourcing more diverse founders and talent. Given our focus on consumer behavior change, we know this also means adding programs to our platform that includes people of color voices. For example, we've started hosting brand workshops with underrepresented founders in Chicago, like Kareem Wells at The Corner Story. As we've listened, we're learning. We've seen that expanding our networks leads to a stronger and more representative pipeline. And above all, we've learned that we have much, much more to learn. Rick and I are heading up things at Listen, and we're loaded with doubts and insecurities. So we're thankful for people like Lindsay who are in our corner that have been a rock for us throughout this process. We were nearly set, for example, to kick off a formal partnership with a training and recruiting firm, and we realized that we weren't certain in our own foundation. And now we're working with firms to assist us in unconscious bias training for our team before we bring it to our portfolios. The organizations on the next slide, if you don't mind going to it, are just a handful of the companies we've been having conversations with, and we'll be sure to share who we end up moving forward with once we lock that in. But if any of these companies pique your interest, we're more than happy to make introductions to the folks that we've chatted with. It's been a really wonderful and eye-opening journey for Rick and I. And if you go to the next slide, finally, we know that we have to do more. I know that there is a lot of words on this page, but just bear with me. This means walking the walk for Listen. So although there are improvements for us to make internally at Listen, our largest opportunity of impact is at the portfolio level. Looking at all of our fund and angel deals over the last couple of years, our companies have hired over 1,000 people. So as we kick off our new fund, we're piloting a new commitment with future portfolio companies that we're calling the Listen More stance. As you can see on both the top and the bottom of this page, this is not completely final yet, but in the sake of transparency, and the more you know, we just wanted to share where we're at with it. But what this is an investment that we're mutually committing to with our founders, which is blend reporting, board diversity, employee benefit review, founder wellness, and sponsoring a DE&I specific investment that will be determined based on where that portfolio company is at on their DE&I journey. So if you go to the next slide. Here's just a quick recap on the left of what you can do and what we've done, if it's helpful for you guys to follow suit at all. Like Rick said, taking stock, I think, was a huge eye-opener for us in the beginning, to just know that we needed to expand our network and begin conversations with other people that weren't in our main circle, and creating a stance that is something that we can agree on with our future founders to make sure that we're doing business with people who reflect the values that we have as well. And given Listen's approach on brand and creativity, once we lock in this partner, we hope to find ways to bring voices and ideas outside of our own team to our platform to make sure that we're, continuing to elevate people outside of our team. And lastly, we always just want to say, like Rick said, staying uncomfortable is key to this process, and keep listening. It's really wonderful what you can listen and learn when you open those ears of yours. The next slide is just a shameless plug to follow along with Listen and to hopefully keep us accountable. We all need accountability partners, and we hope that over the next couple of months and throughout this year, you start to see more unique content towards these efforts. And like I said, I hope you hold us accountable.